Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our worldwide audience and IIUans. I, Professor Nada Ratković, the co-founder of IIU Europe, the president of IIU Research Center, country director, and board member of IIU, heartily welcome you all to this special auspicious occasion of the G20 Summit 2023, organized by International Internship University and G20 International, today envisioned on the SHAKTHI Spectrum to celebrate womanhood and woman empowerment, and the YUGA YUVA Go Global to celebrate youth empowerment. Piyush Pandit, the visionary educationist, always had a dream to provide education to learners across the world. He believes that the world is changing drastically, so there is no need changes in the education system. With this thought, he concocted the world's first digital internship university, International Internship University in 2020. IIU is providing quality, skill-based, affordable, accessible, location-independent, and skill-based learning education to all the learners across the globe. IIU has more than 1,000 plus courses on the massive open online courses MOOC and also affiliated with World Education Organization, International Accreditation Organization, and United Nations. Spread wings in 195 countries, 6 continents, with a great team and experienced qualified global educators. Today, the group of 20 G20 is a paramount platform for fostering international economic cooperation, pivotal to shaping and fortifying the global framework and governments concerning crucial economic matters worldwide. India is proudly assuming the presidency of G20 from December 1, 2022 to November 30, 2023, and is embracing the opportunity to spearhead the changes. Guided by the resolution leadership by Dr. Srividhya Sukumar from United Arabian Emirates, and with unwavering support from the esteemed International Internship University, the core committee, and the team. We are prepared to unveil a transformative initiative. IIU is poised to launch an empowering endeavor to revolutionize the world of women and social entrepreneurs. Additionally, we are set to convene an esteemed worldwide think tank to foster comprehensive discussions to achieve equality for all, an equal world, education, and opportunities for all the individuals. With the upcoming G20 summit being organized virtually, we have the unprecedented opportunity to transcend geographical boundaries and bring together brilliant minds from all corners of the globe. We can pave the way for a future where everyone can thrive through collaboration, innovation, and collective determination. Let us join our hands united in our pursuit of the world where every individual, irrespective of their gender or circumstances, can unleash their full potential and contribute to the progress and prosperity of our global community. Together, we can make a lasting impact and create a legacy of equality for generations. Explore how IIU's benefits of internships and highlight and shape a student future. Unlock your potential. Explore the world through internships from 10th grade to higher education. In today's the rapidly changing world, education goes beyond the walls of traditional classrooms. As students strive to gain a competitive edge, it becomes essential to supplement their academic knowledge with practical experience that foster personal and professional growth. Internships provide a unique opportunity to bridge the gap, allowing students to gain real-world exposure while still pursuing their education by enhancing career exploration and decision-making, developing essential skills, building a global perspective, networking opportunities, gaining confidence and self-awareness, applying classroom knowledge, and gaining a competitive edge. IIU recognize the immense value of the internships, and we are dedicated to promote the internships from the 10th grade to higher education worldwide. Internships offer a transformative educational experience, empowering students to become well-rounded individuals with a deep understanding of their chosen fields. By promoting internships from 10th grade to higher education, IIU seeks to unlock students' potential and prepare them from the challenges of the professional world. These internships provide invaluable opportunities for career exploration, skill development, global exposure, networking, and personal growth. We welcome all to embrace the world of internships and embark on a journey that will shape our future success. Now, it's my honor to invite a great lady, a strong woman. She is well known, Dr. Virginia Rivera. She's coming from Puerto Rico, and she is our IIU core member. Dr. Virginia, welcome. Please unmute yourself, Dr. Virginia.
I was so excited. I was going to, thank you so much, Professor Nada. I am really, really excited to be here with all of you, continuing what we started a few weeks ago, and it's going to go until September. So really, this is a great project. We're going to have so many speakers and so many topics that we'll be exploring that are so important to the world that we live in today. It's my pleasure to announce who joins and who is part of our IIU team. As Professor Nada explained, IIU is a different type of institution. It really brings innovation to the forefront, and the professionals that work in it and for it are just as innovative. So with us today, of course, we have Professor Nala. She just started. She's also the director of our research center, additional to the co-founder of IIU Europe. We also have with us Ermina Rascal, and she is part of the James International School and part of this team. With us also, we have Dr. Snigdha Kadam, and she is our COO, but more than that, she is an integral part of everything that happens in this wonderful institution. With us also, we have Inga, although she's not here right now, she may be joining us in a little while, and she is also a co-founder of IIU in Europe. We have Dr. Sandy Balahi, and she is with us today, and we're so excited to have you in our team. And then to start this incredible day today, I am going to introduce to you Dr. Srividhya Sukumar. And you know what? I want to apologize if I don't say your names correctly. I am trying to learn them, but they're beautiful, and my tongue still doesn't roll the way it should, but I really, really admire them all. So thank you so much. So let me start with Dr. Srividhya Sukumar. She is our project leader. She's an educationist, an entrepreneur. She's an education consultant, governance advisor, R&D consultant, quality assurance audit expert, and a strategic transformation consultant. We are very proud of her and all her accomplishments, and most importantly, to have her here with us today. So please, the podium is all yours.
Dr. Virginia, that was very kind of you. And thanks for that sweet introduction. And on that note, I would extend a warm welcome to all our speakers who have joined us today, and also our community partners who have global sustainable futures represented by Dr. Renuka. Welcome, a warm welcome to you, ma'am. It's really a pleasure and honor to have you with us on board today. And also we extend our warm welcome to IGEN Global, who are again one of our community partners for today. Thank you so much. On that note, without wasting much time, I think I should go on and my presentation, share that. So, Ms. Nada, I would request you to give multiple participant sharing.
Yes, I do. You can.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope my screen is visible.
It's coming.
It's still loading. Yeah, thank you. So there we go. And as Dr. Virginia was introducing, I'm a research person basically for research and development and a strategic transformation consultant. I'm also an educationist who has been in the field of education for about 30 years now, a quality assurance expert and a master coach. And it's really a pleasure in joining you all for this session. And if at all you can relate me to is this one tagline that I always associate or relate with: celebrate every single moment of your life so as to evolve as self, community, and terrain. And that's why I am here, and that's why we are all here. So today we are going to talk about women empowerment. Women empowerment in the sense, like, what is it about basically is that it is on Empower Alliance. What's this Empower Alliance? Is the G20 Alliance for Empowerment and Progression for Women Economic Representation. That's what G20 Empower is, accelerating women leadership and empowerment in the private sector. Moving ahead, as we know, what's the main root cause or what's the main objective of it? What has really catalyzed the whole thought of women empowerment is that the wider labor market picture is still more challenging and stands in contrast to the slow progress towards the parity in the leadership positions. Progress on the workforce participation is stalling, and financial inequality shows the signs of increase. On the global labor force participation, the rate of women is just over 50% compared to 80% for men. So this really paved a way or a thought process for women empowerment. And this was highlighted by World Bank in 2022. Analysis over reveals a gap of 40% of the wage levels and 50% of the income, and it's still to be bridged. Other challenges are found with respect to the access to digital technology for women. Global analysis revealed that over 2.3 billion without internet access and more than 1.7 billion who do not have own mobile phone, and 200 million fewer than men with online and mobile phone access. The data provided fresh impetus for the action from governments and investors, private sector businesses, workers, and other organizations and non-government organizations, that is NGOs. Evidence has shown us that economic slowdown disproportionately impact women in exacerbating exciting inequalities and cause gender equality initiatives to slip down governmental and corporate agendas. So post-COVID, COVID has been always a blessing in disguise. And the COVID pandemic has thrown a spotlight on enormous social and economic disparities with a disproportionate impact on the women observed in many fields. In the healthcare industry, only 25% of the women hold leadership roles. Accounting, it's only 67% of the global health workforce that is being declared by WHO in 2020. And entrepreneurship, women-owned small and medium enterprises, WSMEs, experience a more significant adverse impact from the pandemic than those owned by men. And that's what G20 came into being with Indonesian presidency of 2022, with more than 50% of the women entrepreneurs working in the wholesale and the retail trades, which suffered significant revenue impacts due to the shutdown of the pandemic and control measures. To seize this opportunity of boosting global GDP by 3.9% by 2025, ILO 2017 that declared that private and government stakeholders need to accelerate and deepen the rollout of policies and practices designed to tackle the barriers for women to be the part of the workforce and for women-owned enterprises. Alongside the economic benefits, closing the gender gap could unlock widespread social benefits. Evidence show that women are more likely to reinvest their profits in the families and the communities, like healthcare, education, and well-being. By supporting and uplifting the role of women in the workforce, with all of us, both through owning SMEs in the wider carriers, we can bring substantially increase in the economic advancement of G20 countries while providing a more equitable and gender-balanced socio-economic environment. And there we are, more than continuing the legacy of G20, Empower plays a critical role in driving the changes required to reduce the gender parity gap. This can be achieved through a strategic collaboration between governments and the private sectors, along with the engagement with workers and their organization and other civil society organizations, which we are all going to discuss today. G20 countries should be an anchor to set up fundamental practices, best practices in supporting women empowerment, especially in increasing women economic participation, enforcing policies including internationally recognized labor standards to assist women in the rising to leadership positions and establishing an environment to grow long-term essential skills. So that's what G20 Empower Alliance stands for. G20 Alliance for the Empowerment and Progression of Women Economic Representation accelerates women leadership and empowerment in the private sector. It does so by leveraging its inclusive and action-oriented vision and its unique partnership model as G20 Empower is the sole G20 entity that brings together over 60 business leaders and governmental representatives to advance a common goal. Launched during 2019 G20 Summit in Japan and established during the G20 Saudi Presidency, G20 Empower includes the 28 members, including G20 and the guest countries of the European Union. Under the Italian presidency held by Paolo, President of the Valor, with the support of the Italian Department for Equal Opportunities, G20 Empower advocates for the progress of the women empowerment across the three cross-cutting areas of G20 for people, planet, prosperity as follows. Measuring to improve its fundamental growth for both government and the business to track the process, set goals and monitor trends in the advancement of the women to the leadership roles. Female talents pipeline as a key to women leadership, and it is essential to look into the diversity, inclusion, and the equity policies and enables to address systematic barriers surrounding the advancement of the women. Leading to the future, it is necessary to address these gaps in availability, adoption and implement of the programs to provide women with the skill and qualification needed to meet and lead the future technological, digital, and sustainability challenges. So these are the priorities that are being discussed during the Empower plenary meetings and through high level to define G20 Empower commitments in the final communique. These commitments guide the daily actions of the private section leaders across G20 countries to advance women leadership, and the final communique will be shared during the August Ministerial Conference on Women Empowerment in October 20 G20 final summit. The alliance has also been built of its G20 and the guest countries with a network of over 400 advocates within the private sector. The heads of the foundations and associations act as supporters and promoters of G20 Empower vision, messages and pledges within the companies, the sector and the country, amplifying the impact of the alliance work. Leveraging this network, G20 Empower is collecting a large range of best practices that support the greater recruitment and advancement of the women as business leaders, and the compilation of the outcome of this effort will be a key output of the work of the G20 Empower and the 2021 Italian presidency. How does the G20 Empower support the women leadership? G20 Empower, produced by the collective recommendations and concrete deliverables, ensure the measurement of KPIs in supporting the women leadership, supported by two other reports, that is KPI dashboard and best practices playbook that we are going to see further. So what are the playbooks that they are working for? Women entrepreneurs, a win-win for equity and economy, creating a global partnership for promoting women leadership across all levels, including the grassroots, education being the game-changing pathway to women empowerment. So with all these things, all the three are supported by digital skilling, cutting across the three focus areas. So engaging all key stakeholders, developing an action-oriented agenda towards promoting equality and the empowerment of women, taking empower message to the masses, generating all kind of inclusive content, including the valuable perspectives of women from all walks of life. That's the first one to talk about is the women entrepreneurship, a win-win for equity and economy. According to the GEM report of 2020 and 21, Women Entrepreneurship Report, only one of the three growth-oriented entrepreneurs is a woman. Women are less likely than men to be active in starting a business and face unique challenges when setting up the leading to their own businesses. These barriers include, but not limited to, the barriers of education, finance, social capital, network, market links, and the burden of care and the gender dynamics within the family, etc., etc., etc. I'm sure our other speakers will be able to contribute more on this topic, especially Dr. Renuka is going to speak more on this topic further. There is a growing recognition among the world leaders that the women entrepreneurs are making a significant contribution to the global economy and society. Globally, an estimate of 274 million women are involved in business startup, in addition to 139 million women owners and managers of established businesses and 144 million informal women investors are there. Promoting women entrepreneurship is significant because it increases women access to income. It is a foundation for women economic empowerment. It leads to overall economic growth of a nation. It is crucial for achievement of substantive equality. It increases total number of entrepreneurs and the labor workforce participation too. So women's right to equitable economic opportunities and its critical importance for sustainable development is embedded in several multilateral normative frameworks. So G20 is strategically securing future for global economic growth and prosperity. Thus, G20 Empower 2023 is committed to highlighting the role of women's entrepreneurship towards women's economic empowerment and the overall growth of the nation's economy. The SDG Goal 5 aims to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. So G20 Empower 2023 will pursue women's empowerment under SDG Goal 5 as an overarching priority through the G20 work streams. To that end, the focus area has been identified as women entrepreneurship, a win-win for equity and economy. To address the women entrepreneurs' unique barriers, a multi-pronged approach envisaged to mentoring and capacity building, enduring markets and financing, scaling up to innovations and adopting novel best practices. Way forward under the India's presidency to collaborate with G20 members and the guest countries and take forward these initiatives to promote women's entrepreneurship by facilitating discussions and forums addressing barriers faced specifically by women entrepreneurs. So creating a global partnership for promoting women leaders across all levels, including the grassroots. Thus, creating a global partnership for promoting women's leadership across all levels is going through women's equal participation and representation in local designing, making progress is critical. Processes is critical in prioritizing the differential needs and localizing the substantial developmental goals. Women's representation in the local deliberative bodies is higher than the national parliaments, but there is still a lingering gender gap. Of the 6.2 million elected members in the deliberative bodies of the local government, only 2.18 million, that is 36% of women. This places women representation in the local governments higher than in national parliaments, that is 25%, although it is still nowhere close to parity. Only 20 countries have reached over 40% of the women in the local decision-making bodies, and 28 countries have women representation between 30 and 40%. To truly empower women, enabling their role in leadership and decision-making at all levels, society is crucial. Studies have found out that exposure to the public and the political representation increases women overall labor force participation and the share of the public employment opportunities and access to public amenities. This is demonstrated in the exponential growth for the story of India with our Prime Minister's vision. So G20 Empower 2023 will pursue women's empowerment under SDG Goal 5 as an overarching priority through G20 workforce streams. To that end, one of the focus areas is partnership to promote women's leadership at all levels. So creating global partnership for promoting women leadership is significant for improving nutrition and health delivery, promoting digital and financial inclusion, increasing women overall labor force participation, access to public amenities and resources, promoting women in the governance roles, enhancing women's public and political representation. Moving further, in the past, G20 countries have prioritized women's empowerment through education and entrepreneurship. Under India's presidency in G20 Empower 2023, would additionally highlight the role of grassroots leadership in increasing women voices in decision-making, promoting participation and leadership in women in the local governance and the self-help groups and the community is crucial for the empowerment. This can be a global roadmap for leveraging grassroots leadership towards the holistic empowerment of women. So again, education, the game-changing pathway to women empowerment. So as we know, education is the key to the empowerment and equal force participation. education is a critical link between the women empowerment and their equal workforce participation. Specifically, education in all areas of science, technology, engineering, mathematics has a significant impact on women earning capacities. So 49% of the member countries have achieved gender parity in primary education. The gap widens at the secondary level. 42% of the member countries have achieved gender parity in the lower secondary education and 24% in the upper secondary education. So according to SDG Goal 4, to ensure inclusive and quality education for all and promoting lifelong learning is therefore an overarching goal for all the G20 countries and its members. So education is critical for economic empowerment, improving employment outcomes, enabling women to take on leadership positions. So this has been proved by the report of 2021-22. I think I've taken long, and there are other speakers who are waiting to just speak more on these subjects. So I would really stop here because I don't want to go further as such. And over to Dr. Nada. Thanks for this opportunity. I think we have summed it up overall with all the points together. And I would like to contribute more throughout the conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Nada. Thanks for the opportunity. And thanks, Dr. Virginia. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank Dr. IIU also for giving me this wonderful platform to share my views. Thank you.
Dr. Virginia, you are muted, but I want to say, Dr. Srividhya, who wouldn't have you? An amazing woman, lady, strong, powerful, educator, entrepreneur, and all in one. That is the woman of 21st century. We are always trying to find that type of woman, and we have here. Thank you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity and for involving us in this G20 International Summit. Thank you. Thank you so much. Dear Virginia, we can continue. As I see, our special guest didn't join yet, but we will continue with our first speaker. And it is
Dr. Renuka Thakore. Do I have the name correctly?
Don't worry how we say. We don't know the correct pronunciation, but it is okay.
Thank you so much.
It is okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Teaches across a range of subjects in law, environment, and construction team with expertise in sustainability. Renuka Scholarship leads us to establish a collaborative platform for innovative and transdisciplinary partnerships and a capacity to develop for early career researchers for contributing to the Sustainable Development Goals of 2030 and beyond. She also supervises a postgraduate project on a range of cross-disciplinary subjects. Dr. Renuka is the founder of Global Sustainable Futures, Progress Through Partnership Network to Achieve Sustainable Development Agenda 2030, and it targets us to really reach it correctly. Thank you so much, and the podium is yours.
Thank you very much. May I share my screen, please?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. All can share the screen.
Are you able to see the screen?
It is coming. It is coming. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So good afternoon, everyone. As I've already been announced, I'm Dr. Renuka Thakore, founder of Global Sustainable Futures Progress Through Partnership Network, and director for Global Sustainable Futures Network Community Interest Company. So I'm humbled and honored to be here. I thank the administrators of the International Internship University, the organizers of G20 International, the program leaders of SHAKTHI SPECTRUM to celebrate womanhood and women empowerment, and the YUGA YUVA Go Global to celebrate youth empowerment. I heartily thankful. I'm very thankful, Dr. Srividhya Sukumar, for thinking of me and inviting me to share my perspectives on the topic of women in SMEs as drivers for economic growth. Briefly, I would like to introduce my network first and then come to the few main points that I would like to share with you. However, I don't think I can go beyond any points that were already mentioned by inspiring, encouraging, and energetic talk from the frontier of the advocacy for the women empowerment and entrepreneurship. Just you have heard from Dr. Srividhya. So thank you very much for that talk. It's very inspiring. Thank you. So here is video of GSFN. However, it's only 5 minutes long, but I won't go through it now. But I'm going to share my PDF later on so that people can go through it to understand our vision and objectives of GSFN. And just to let you know, the vision for GSFN is like through GSFN, we want to play a leading role in creating an inclusive and engaging platform for early career researchers, but also for like-targeted stakeholders, including startups and entrepreneurs, supported by senior researchers and business leaders, where everyone can share in their research, innovation, visualization, and enthusiasm for global co-creating sustainable future. So here is just a demonstration of how wide we are, maybe not so wide as International Internship University, but this is led by volunteers and individuals. So we have more than 3,000 coordinators from 152 countries, and through coordinators, they are of individuals and organizations like you. We have been able to reach out to 1 million people. We have received, delivered more than 500 plus hours of online videos. We are linked with 15,000 people on LinkedIn and other Facebook and other social media. We have made 500 plus media posts, and we have participated in high-level dialogues, more than 50 or more. And we have received, like our network has been recognized, and we have received prestigious 3 awards. One of them was especially, I was invited by the Senate of Argentina to receive Development Leadership Award. So I'm very thankful for my community. We carry out our activities in 4 domains, which is education, research, community engagement, and businesses. And we are very proud to have nearly 50-50 male-female coordinators in our community. And this is innovative governance structure which I have introduced in our community. And whoever joins gets a chairship. And this is a unique chair badge which we provide to the individual or the organization. And it has 6 unique elements attached to it. It is one, you have to select one of the SDG from 17 SDG goals. Then you can select 4 domains out of research, education, community, and business or enterprise. And then you can attach yourself to any level. It could be global, it could be country level, it could be regional, it could be a university level, it could be any home level or individual, one of our coordinators has a tribal level, and so on. And then you can put 3 unique words about your activities, which, and with these 6 elements, you become a unique chair of your own activities. We do not have any mandatory requirement for this. Everyone is able to freely join this network and have this chair badge. What we do then at the end of the year, we send out a self-nomination form and you put down your activities, and based on just the face value and other obvious evidence, we award you with bronze, gold, platinum, silver award. And that is incredibly recognizing the activities that people are doing in engaging with sustainable future. This is actually highlighting, or it is very important for the people who have limited access or access due to some sort of limitations in education or resources like finance or connections and so on. So it is highly appreciated by the people who join us. So now I will move to the main topic. Women in SMEs as drivers for economic growth. Of course, everything has been said by Dr. Srividhya. But however, everyone, I think, here agrees that activities of entrepreneurs are considered as an important driver for economic growth. Leave alone female, I'm not talking about female, but even all the activities of entrepreneurs are considered as an important driver for economic growth. And criticals in 2015 argued that entrepreneurs generate employment opportunities, not only for themselves, but also for others in order to create the jobs. Beyond the job creation, entrepreneurial activities may influence a country's overall economic performance in several ways, such as entering markets in new products, innovation, technologies, or production processes. Importantly, they create a new organism which increases productivity and competition. And the new venture creation accelerates structural change. Without new venture creation, economics can become stagnant. And according to UN Women, where more women works, economics grow. And even this has been supported by the literature. And it shows that women economic empowerment boosts productivity, increases economic diversification and income equality, in addition to other positive development outcomes. Increasing the female employment rates in OECD countries to match that of Sweden could boost GDP by over 6 trillion USD. So, however, it should be recognized that the growth does not automatically lead to the reduction in gender-based inequality. However, and also it is estimated that gender gap costs the economy about 15% of GDP. Women's economic equality is good for business, and that has been, accepted by most or probably everyone here. And companies greatly benefit by increasing employment and leadership opportunity for women, which is shown to increase organizational effectiveness and growth. It is estimated that companies with 3 or more women in senior management function score higher in all dimensions of organizational performance. Sorry. Thus, closing gender gaps in the world of work are key to achieving 2030 agenda. Empowering women and achieving sustainable development goals, and in particular, Goal 5, to achieve gender equality. It also impacts Goal 8, to promote full and productive employment and decent work for all. And it also impacts Goal 1 and on ending poverty, Goal 2 on food security, and Goal 3 on ensuring health, and Goal 10 on reducing inequalities. So women economic empowerment is central to realizing women's rights and gender equality. It includes women's ability to participate equally in existing markets, their access to and control productive resources, access to decent work, over control over their own time, lives, and bodies, and increased voice, agency, and meaningful participation in economic decision making at all levels, from household to international institutions. Thus, increasing women and girls' education is very important. That attainment can contribute to women's economic empowerment and more inclusive economic growth, like upskilling, reskilling over the life course, and especially to keep pace with rapid technology and digital transformation affecting jobs are critical for women and girls' health and well-being, as well as their income generation opportunities and participation in formal labor market. Increased education attainment accounts for about 50% of the economic growth in OECD countries over the past 50 years. But for the majority of women, significant gains in education have not translated into better labor market outcomes. Almost a third of women employment globally is in agriculture, including forestry and fishing. But this must exclude like uh, employed and unpaid family workers. So yet differences across countries and regions are striking. The share of women workers in agriculture is only 9.5% in upper middle income countries and 2.6% in high income countries. While agriculture remains the most important employment sector for women in low and lower medium income countries. And therefore, rural women ensure like they should be supported the most because they ensure food security for their communities, build climate resilience, and strengthen economy. Gender inequality has an impact due to discriminating laws and social norms, and these are combined with a fast changing economic, technological, and environmental landscape, which restrict their full potential, leaving them far behind men and their urban counterparts. So this is the area where a lot of support is needed from technology, social construction, and environmental education and sustainable practices. I am building a team on a farm carbon calculator for every country worldwide and to use it as a tool to educate the whole supply chain in agriculture in terms of carbon literacy, which would include understanding soil, water, crop, tree, land management, and all the parameters impacting agriculture. How to smoothly transit to the environmental friendly, circular, and sustainable practices. Provide an ecosystem for innovative social construction where we can create interdependent collaborative leadership, including everyone, men and women, where each one is complementing each other rather than competing with each other, and increase diverse practices within the context of local and regional culture. And so I will invite you all to join GSFN, these very, very ambitious project. Let's all come together and co-create sustainable futures together. We can make this happen. Thank you for having me here and connect me to whichever channel you can.
Thank you, thank you. Wonderful, Dr. Renuka. I think that you mentioned so many important points. I think we hear it and we hear it again, and it doesn't really drill in until you have an experience where you realize that you could be better, but because of being a woman, you're not. So I think that we need to continue telling this and really involving ourselves in the situation and being part of the situation. I just wanted to say when Dr. Srividhya was talking, if we're not invited to the table, we have to bring our own chair. We need to start getting into the space because sometimes they just don't think of us, but we know that we need to be there. So thank you so much for your very, very important message today. So I wanted to know if our special guest is here already. If not, then we'll move on. Natasha?
Natasha's here. I'm here.
Latasha or Natasha?
It's Natasha.
We have a Latasha and we have a Natasha.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I know
Latasha's
it was so funny. Yeah, but we have both. Okay, so good. We're almost with you then, Natasha. So I think right now it's Faiza, and then we'll be with you. So now let's welcome, but it's almost your time. So now let's welcome our dearest Faiza Prodhan, or I know this is not important, but it's important to me. Can you tell me how you pronounce your last name, Faiza? And take off your microphone. She's right there. Do you see me?
Faiza, unmute yourself. Faiza.
I think she's frozen.
She's frozen.
Yes, Faiza.
Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead then maybe and go with Natasha.
Let's move. We will come back. Yes.
Okay, I'll go to so Natasha, here I'm going to be going with you, and I love that it says prophetess.
See how beautiful woman we
have
here today. Yes.
Natasha Jones. I love it. I love it. You're an international transformational empowerment speaker.
Faiza, do you hear us?
You are the vision.
Faiza, hear us now. Unmute yourself, dear. Okay.
So I am.
Am I audible? I cannot hear barely about you. It's just buffering.
You were frozen.
Am I audible?
Yes, now. Yes, Faiza. Yes.
Okay, so Natasha, I'll go with you in a few.
I cannot hear.
You cannot hear? You cannot hear us? No?
Faiza, do you hear us?
Yes, now I can hear you guys. Hello?
Please, can you go?
Yes, I can hear you, Nada.
Okay, great.
Okay,
so you can start.
Wonderful.
Yes, you can start then. Yes, okay.
Go ahead.
Please,
Okay.
Dr. Virginia,
First
will you
of all,
introduce
thank you
our
very much
Faiza?
for having
I don't think she can hear us very well.
Yes.
Yeah, Faiza, I just wanted to say a little bit about you so people know, who you are and what you do.
Sure.
So you're an author, an entrepreneur, an environmentalist, and a wellness thinker. She believes that the protection of women and girls from sexual and gender-based violence should be recognized as a priority challenge, and acknowledges that women's peace coalitions have grown in strength to advocate and bear witness of the crimes against women. She believes that we should unite under this flag. So go ahead now, Faiza. It's your turn.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for having me on this wonderful platform on this G20 Summit. So as today, our topic is women empowerment, and I'll reflect on gender equality. Gender equality is when people of all genders have equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities. Everyone is affected by gender inequality. We all are witnessing this around the world. Women, men, trans, and gender diverse people, children, and families. It impacts people of all ages and backgrounds, despite of different nationality, languages, colors. Gender equality does not imply that men and women are the same. That's why I think we are the problems we need to insist and have that respect for one another despite that differences, but that they have equal value and should be accorded equal treatment according to the United Nations. Gender equality is first and foremost a human right. Empowering women is also an indispensable tool for advancing development and reducing poverty. Empowered women contribute to the health and productivity of their families and communities, leading to improved prospects for the next generation. Therefore, gender equality is important not only for women, but also for the society, the nation, and the whole world. Gender discrimination mostly prevails in the rural areas
Find
of
the pants, baby.
Bangladesh,
Get your shoes on.
where,
Pack your
where the
tablet and your
people
phone.
are
Get all your stuff packed up.
literally
I'm gonna go in a
poor
minute, okay?
and
And then when I
helpless
get off, I'll be ready for
in
JoJo.
Bangladesh.
Okay,
Okay.
And
Natasha, can
India
you put
and
mute
some
on your phone?
other Asian country where women are always undermined, there is a discrimination about gender. So many usually dominate the society and make decision in the family matters most of the time. That is also another big issue. I guess there is no equality. The poverty, illiteracy, rapid growth of population around the world, it's another big problem for the whole world, are actively working as the main barriers, I think. Unsustainable production and consumption of patterns are gendered, with women suffering disproportionality and from resource scarcity and the natural disaster resulting from climate change even. You will notice the past time that we all act on that climate change and how we can improve. There was a thought in people's mind that it is only man's job, but we should include women, and they are much more empathetic. They can see things underneath it. They put their whole self to understand the facts. So they play a vital role in climate change and action and support their family and others into the community. Therefore, gender equality is crucial to ensure a balanced approach to the economic, social, and environmental dimensions of sustainable development if we really want to achieve it by 2030. And gender equality is intrinsically linked to sustainable development. Women represent half the world's population, yet face systematic deprivations relative to men. That is sad for all of us. That is still in this time we are talking about women empowerment. Putting women and girls at the center of economics will fundamentally drive better and more sustainable development outcomes for all of us. Support a more rapid women naturally possess a quality of discipline, structure, empathy, and see things from beneath, as I mentioned earlier also. So my final take on this topic is we all as a social creature need to understand that without half of our population, we won't be able to succeed towards growth and to achieve a fulfillment in life. And every man needs to be more understanding to the fact of a woman's mental and physical psychology and how they function. And same goes for women too. Be understanding about the men and accepting the fact that both the gender or whatever the differences that we have, it's natural. There is nothing man-made or we can do any kind of theory to imply it in a different direction. So accept the fact which is natural and go with the flow. We cannot hamper the law of nature. That first thing that we all need to understand. And empowered women, wise, strong, and yet tender, affectionate, and nurturing women can rise the better future for the nation and the world as a mother, as a wife, sister, friend, or any field she is in. And when I go through the newspaper and the TV news of harassment, rape, domestic violence, it really breaks my heart. Still, I don't know how that actually, how I should put it into words. Even some men go through this same kind of mental torture by some men as well. So here the majority is like too big, small, and it's too large, but both has to be acknowledged because that's how I think a group of men go against women and group of women go against men. So instead of separating us from each other, because men and women both has to work hand in hand to complete this purpose. Therefore, equal respect rights needed to restore in our behavior, or else it's next to impossible to achieve a gender equality. Bottom line is it's crucial to establish gender equality, discrimination-free society, and the world. To bring in gender equality, we all should come forward to make people aware of the equal status of women and especially ensuring female education, rising mass awareness is very important. Avoiding social stigma, this kind of fixed rules, beliefs, and old methods. These are very effective measures to get rid of this social stigma. Men and women should work hand in hand. So yeah, for this gender equality, there are so many other areas that I would like to imply on. I think men and women both has to build the open mindset and see the facts very normally, the difference that we have. Because if you go through the social aspect, religious aspect, even scientifically also, if you dig into that, there is a difference. So we just have to accept it. We have been created in that way. Let's just embrace us the way we are and be supportive, be respectful to one another. So thank you very much for having me on this wonderful summit. I'd like to thank you all, the entire organization, IIU, and you, dear Nada, and all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Faiza. Thank you so much. I totally agree with you. I think that in order for us to have a sustainable world, we need to collaborate and we need to be hand in hand, but we need to teach that from the time that they're little, right? And we have to get rid of the gender biases that still affect our communities. But definitely, in order for us to have a sustainable world, everybody has to contribute. So thank you so much for a very empowering message. So now, welcome, Natasha. I am so happy to welcome you. She's an international transformational empowerment speaker. She's a visionary founder of KBF Ministries and Kingdom Purpose Talk Show. She is the CEO and the visionary founder of graphics design director, learning and development specialist, onboarding training specialist, event planner, and self-discovery and relationship specialist. Oh my God, at Kingdom Attitude Elite Consulting and Printing Services. And I'm not done. She is an Amazon 3 times best-selling author and a visionary for her newly released anthology, Be Prepared to Do It Alone with God. Natasha is an award-winning recipient of the Most Outstanding Mompreneur Award. And also she received the Leadership Excellence Award. So we are so happy to have you here with us today. We feel blessed. I have to say, I'm dying to hear what you have to contribute to this incredible summit. So welcome. The virtual podium is yours.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I'm excited to be here today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are across the globe today. I come before you today. I am filled with passion on today and excitement as we do embark on this journey to speak on advancing women in leadership, okay? Because we're at a season of advancement and expansion, and guess what? It's happening fast. It's not happening slow. We're not slowing our feet. We're doing the multiplied momentum that we are to do because we know our place and we know that we're multifaceted. That's the way God created us. And everybody like, how you do so much? A lot we cannot explain as women. We just do, right. And we just know, and we just move, and we go with what God has given us, being able to balance the two. So in a world today, as we're living in, we're constantly evolving as we find ourselves in a pivotal moment of transformation, okay? And when we have witnessed here is incredible strength with women of resilience, of determination as women, as we rise above social expectations. We're rising above what social think we can do, because inside of us, we have an identity. We have a purpose that needs to be fulfilled. And to be successful means to be fulfilled. That is real, true success in women advancing in leadership. And as I reflect today on this incredible, amazing movement, I am reminded of the power that lies within each and every one of us, because we're so strategically designed, okay? And we've been uniquely created with gifts. We have talents, we have abilities that are meant to be shared all the way across the globe. And it's time for us to step in our greatness. And it's time for us to embrace our calling. And it's time for us to unleash our full potential unapologetically. No longer can we apologize for who we are and who we are called to be when we're walking in that element. But let us not forget the importance of faith on our journey. It's a lot of stuff we won't see by the natural eye. We have to tap into the faith and believe that this is going to happen. God said it and it's so, okay? So it's the foundation. That's our foundation of our movement and aspiration as women advancing in leadership, is to move by that faith, move by that strength, move by that belief. And it goes back to when we used to dream when we was little girls. We dreamed that we can do anything and have that childlike spirit. That is what we ought to do today. Don't stop dreaming. Go back and get those dreams off the shelf. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to live and dream again and have that childlike spirit to experience that and be happy about it, okay? And be joyous about it. And we can break barriers if we go back and get those dreams and those visions that hold women back, because so many women are held back because of financial issues, because of just not having the support they need, even by the opinions of people. They're allowing people to dictate and validate who they are when we're not called to that, okay? And that's what keeps us stagnated. That's what keeps us on mute. And it's time to unmute ourselves and do what God has for us to do, because together in unification, community and not competition, okay? And collaboration and not chaos. That is what we're here to do, to make sure that needle is moving consistently and to be able to help our sisters when they need something and when they call, just support, just sow a share of social media, just tell somebody else the movement is happening. My sister's doing this, to be able to invite them to that space, because we're to walk in unification. If we are going to advance in leadership, there must be collaboration collectively. Must be collaboration collectively. And as we advance, I'm reminded of a scripture of Psalm 139:14, things that you keep in your heart. It declares that I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. That is for us women. We are fearfully and we're wonderfully made, and our works are wonderful, and it works for us. Even in the mishaps, in the mistakes, we're all learning and growing. And knowing when we're learning and growing, we're taking what we made a mistake or fell short on, and we're learning from that, okay? Because we're humans. We're learning to advance in leadership, and to be fearfully and wonderfully made. It's a recognition of how we're designed, and it's not by chance, okay? It is definitely intentional of how we were created by God specifically and tailor-made, okay? So in leadership, it's crucial to embrace the truth and let it resonate within you, to walk in your truth, walk in your story, share your story, tell your story, because the journey to get to where you are is immeasurable. You can't even measure the value of what you had to endure just to get to the space and the place that you are. We've been through so much, but guess what? We came out smoke-free. I don't even smell like the fire that I was in. I don't even smell like the stuff that I've been through. I don't even reflect the stuff that I've been through. It's a miracle that I'm sitting here. It's a miracle that I am here to be able to testify to you guys, because I was born dead. I was delivered from lupus. I was delivered from hypothyroidism. God healed me from diabetes. He healed me from a massive heart attack. He healed me from 3 car accidents. He healed me from losing my son, my unborn son, giving birth to a dead baby. And yet I am still walking in purpose and advancing in leadership, because not only is it for us, but it's for the ones that's coming up behind us, and the young women that are looking at us, and they're gleaning and they're looking for that model, that amazing model to say, you know what, I want to be just like Miss Virginia. I want to be just like Faiza. I want to be just like everybody that I see here today, because that's what we're shaping the culture for. It's for those babies that are coming up, and the teenagers and the single moms advancing in leadership. They're depending on us to make it, and they're depending on us to walk in that element and to walk in that element. And before I leave you today, I want to leave you with T-Ken pivotal points, okay? The pivotal points that you can apply to your daily lives every single day as a leader, because we need each other for strength. We need each other for support. We need each other for witty ideas, for creativities. If we have to get together, have planning sessions, That's what we need each other for accountability. In case my sister fall, I got her, okay? In case you need me, I got you. I'm only a phone call away. That is what advancement in leadership means, okay? Number one, you are to embrace your authenticity. Embrace how authentic you are. When you look in that mirror, embrace you as a leader, as a woman, because your unique qualities and perspectives of how you see things and a lens, how you view it from your mindset and experiences are valuable assets that can bring fresh and diverse approach to leadership. We need fresh, we need diverse, we need all ideas on board. And when I'm having meetings, I'm like, I need everybody to pour it out on the table so we can build this beautiful foundation. You don't see a house built with only one structure. There's multiple levels and multiple things in that house to make it a beautiful house. That you have the cabinets how you want them. You have your vaulted ceiling. You have your crown mold. Everything is specific. That's how advancement in leadership is. We're to be very specific in the building process, in the foundation, and it takes 10 key elements. Number two is to build a supportive network. Surround yourself around a network that is like-minded, okay? Individuals that believe in your potential, believe in who you are. Seek out mentors. Nothing wrong with a mentor. There's nothing wrong with a sponsor. There's nothing wrong with even studying the enemy and the allies. You know, hey, you can join too if you want to, okay? Nothing wrong with that, because we want people to be shaped for movement and to know that we're here to advocate for the growth and advancement in women leadership. Number three, cultivate self-confidence. I can't stress enough how much self-care mastery, taking that time. If you want to go get a cheeseburger and a milkshake, that's your business. You can go get whatever you want because you work so hard during the week. You deserve that self-care. You deserve that mani-pedi. You deserve that. I get collagen mani-pedis all the time, and I be fulfilled because that's an inner happiness, and I'm tapping into that level, because if I don't fill myself up, I can't go out there and pour out to nobody else being empty. Okay, I can't do that. So it takes that time for me to have that self-care mastery to be able to take care of myself and not having to depend on a man to do it. We can't wait on a man to pay for nails and hair and all that good stuff. We have to take that initiative and really cultivate and take care of ourselves. And number four, break free from limiting beliefs. What you've been limited, even by things that have been traditional, that has stopped you and put a cap on you. But guess what? That cap has been removed, and you're walking to that level to where you can break free and don't hold back. Trust in your capabilities, okay? Push beyond your comfort zone. Step out of that comfort. When you get uncomfortable, that's when you reach destiny. When you're walking in that uncomfort zone, that's when you are developing who you are. And guess what? You are capable the more you think. We are some powerful individuals as women advancing in leadership. Number five, advocate for gender equality. Advocate, speak up for your sisters in organization and beyond. Use your voice to raise awareness, okay? From challenges, from people being biased, creative, inclusive environments, include each other. We have to be, that's a real core value, even in my personal life, is inclusion. I have to make sure I include people in what God wants them to do. That way, everybody is equal and everybody has the same opportunity to thrive. And it's time to move out of survival mode. We've been stuck in survival so long, making it paycheck to paycheck and robbing Peter to pay Paul and barely making it. And God says, I'm moving you from just surviving to thriving and thrusting you over to what you said you wanted and desired and prayed for. And guess what? That promise is coming to pass. Number six, lead with empathy and compassion. That's one of the main things that some of us lack in leadership, is empathy. We don't put ourselves in each other's shoes. Now, we don't have sympathy because that's a natural response, but to be empathetic, that means I place myself in your shoes, and guess what? I understand. And sometimes people, when they have conversations with us as women, sometimes they don't need a response. They just need a listening ear. They just need that support to say, you know what? I understand what you're going through. I understand what it feels like, instead of the judgmental and the competitiveness. Put yourself in their shoes and lead so that we can foster that culture of trust and collaboration and support. Number seven, continuously learn and grow. Continue to be a student at all times. It doesn't matter what platform I'm on, what place I'm in. I'm always learning and I'm soaking and I'm applying it in my life and growing. And that life, a process is growing because we have 2 dates. We have a beginning date, which is a birth date, and we have an end date. And in between that date, we have a dash. That's us. What are we going to do at the time that we have left here? What impact are we making with the dash? That's why time is of essence. Time is of value. We cannot waste time. The minutes I just spoke, I can't get those minutes back, okay? So I got to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do while I'm here for fulfillment before I leave this earth, okay? Because we're all leaving, but I want to make sure I'm leaving with the right standing, okay? Number 8, encourage and mentor others. That's what we're doing today. We're lifting each other's up, okay? We're being the champion for women. We're in leadership. We're offering our guidance, our support. We're offering our mentorship, because together, as I stated earlier, we can create a powerful network of empowered women. It takes a bold, calculated risk, okay? Moving to number 9, take that bold risk, calculated, okay? Embrace the risk, seize the opportunity for growth and advancement. Have that courage to step outside that comfort zone and take on new challenges that will propel your career forward, so that you have financial peace, so that your children have financial peace, so that your children's children have financial peace and have wealth on what you've implanted inside of them. Because sometimes money will run out, but what you implant in them and that wisdom and knowledge, they'll continue to have that to shape them of who they are. And number 10, lead by example. We are flawed, but we are favored. We are not perfect, but we are purpose. We have a purpose. And when we lead with integrity, we lead with transparency and authenticity, we are to be those role models for them that inspires them to become, okay? We are to be an impact and not an infection. We are to be an asset and not a liability, okay? By applying these pivotal points to our daily leadership, that will contribute to collective advancement of women and create a lasting impact, a legacy. If you want to leave a true legacy, leave the real you. I'll say that. Leave the real you. That way your legacy can continue, your leadership can continue, your wittiness, or even your giddy stuff that you think is crazy. It'll take but one crazy idea to make you a trillionaire, okay? That idea you're sitting on can make you money and make movement and transform lives like you've never seen before. But all it takes is one yes. One simple yes, God, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do the crazy. I'll do the stuff that don't seem like it makes sense. But guess what? To him, it makes sense because he's the one that created you. Okay. So let us go forth and let us lead with that purpose. Let us lead with that passion. Let us lead with that unwavering commitment. Do not allow your commitment to be wavered and be tossed at here and forth. Stay the course. Keep that tunnel vision on the vision that God gives you, because if you believe in your vision, then God believes in your vision. And if God believes in your vision, then advancement in women leadership is where we're going. I thank you so much for my space, and I thank you so much for my
Natasha.
Natasha, you are
Wow.
model. Listen, Natasha will come to us one day and she will be our guest the whole day. Do you hear
Yes.
me?
You brought us empowerment.
I'm excited.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. And I have to say that that's exactly what empowerment is. It's really finding from within what you bring and contributing to the world. So thank you for your message. And like Professor Nala says, we're going to bring you, just you. And we can have you the entire hour. We love it. Thank you so much for being. Yes. So thank you. Thank you. So now, Professor Nala, it's your turn. And you usually introduce people. So I'm going to introduce you and read your short bio. So. Okay, sorry, ladies. Okay, assistant professor on Faculty of Economics, Business and Tourism, professor mentor in High Vet School, president of IIU Research Center, co-founder of IIU Europe. Specialized fields are science, technology, innovation, research, statistics, math, informatics, STEM, ecology, SDG, economy, business, tourism, entrepreneurship, accounting, and human rights. Her special roles are educator, researcher, author, trainer, reviewer, project manager, international speaker, moderator, motivator, humanitarian, and social worker, and so much more. Professor Nala, the virtual podium is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, dear. You know what's the problem now? The problem is that I didn't open a folder, and I was making so many screenshots, and now it will be a problem to find my presentation on my screen. So you see what I make now. I don't see where it is. Natasha, I was trying to catch you with a beautiful face, but you see what now? Let me see, can I do something here? Will it open? You will tell is it open. If it don't open, I will only talk because I cannot put it now on the desktop. What you see? What you see my desktop.
Presentation came in.
Yeah, I was just still see your
Yeah,
desktop.
Came in.
search it by the name.
No, it's
Did you
okay.
save it?
I cannot find now my presentation. I need to move all the folders, these files in the folder. So I will just speak. So no problem. I want to say that I'm really honored to be involved in this great G20 summit with Dr. Srividhya and with all our great team, our esteemed guests every week on a new topic. This topic is very important. We need to empower the woman. So I want to talk about this part of empowering the woman in digitalization. We need digital for all the women and innovation and technology for all the women. Coming from Croatia, my country, Croatia is providing a very active support for the women's empowerment. Even we are doing that on the national level, also on the international. We are combating all stereotypes and for the better and for work-life balance. What is the notion? The notion is that women's progress today represents a human progress. So it lies at the core of our national policy for gender equality. And it is always continuing to support the woman, empowering the woman. And we always remain the major policy priorities and focus on that. We already touch many of these things from my topic. We know that we have Women's Day, that United Nations observes the International Women's Day. I can say that the Women's Day is every day because not only one day. So I will start. I like everything. So I like also writing poems. I like acting. I like researching. So today I feel just like that to say that for us women, there's no limit that we prove today with this amazing woman on the IIU stage. So there's no limit that we can accomplish. We are unstoppable. We are a force, a strong force, and we only can decide what can we do with our life. So to all these amazing women around the world, I want to encourage them because the women need to decide what they want in their life. And I wish them the best from one woman to another woman and without any diminish. I work a lot for empowering the woman in my country, also on the international level. Empowerment is always, for me, the first and foremost. If we want to talk about the power, if we want to change power, we need to change power in our relations. We want to we need to, if we don't know, we need to make exercises. We need to try to get a help because we can define the power. If we talk about the power, I think on the all resources that the woman needs to have, physical, human, intellectual, financial, and control the ideology. Unfortunately, this is not happening in many countries. We already see what it means economic growth and economic development. We don't have economic development if the women are not involved. Also, there is not then economic growth. How can we talk about decent growth? How can we talk about innovation in infrastructure, well-being, gender equality, strategic partnership, every one of 17 SDGs, if we don't empower the woman? Educational empowerment, economic empowerment, political empowerment, psychological empowerment. What is the benefits more for our society? If we want to talk about the benefits and we empower them, we can say that by the organization OECD, Organization Economic Country Development, gives us a definition that women's capacity is to contribute and to give the benefit for the economic activities, and all that need to be recognized, and the women need to get the recognition for that what they are doing. So doing what a man do as well as they do it, it does not seem to be enough. We, like a woman, we need to be able to manage and to make the balance of everything, being competent and communal. Today, talking about digitalization, there is a shift towards digital modern world. We're living in a modern world, so it has a measurable impact on our workings and on our education. In 21st century, we know that women also needs to have the skills. Talking about the literacy, numeracy, everything. So financial literacy, digital literacy, eco-literacy, media literacy, that are the foundational literacies. Women need to have competences. Women need to have all the qualities. So talking about digitalization, we have the modern approach to digitalization in education. Like an educator, we have the I-pedagogy wheel, where we always put in the middle the verbs. After the verbs, active verbs. We try to, that is called the Bloom's taxonomy. So the Bloom's taxonomy is also in digitalization involved. And then we need to use the digital tool. So how can the woman use a digital tool if she is not involved that? So success is always the revenge. We know that women today needs to be involved in science, STEM for all women. Women also, we need to, we here, I can say at IIU, we are really doing that. We are giving, we have so many training sessions on the different topic, and also on the STEM and women empowerment, giving them the main STEM essential competencies are problem solving, creativity, inquiring skills, math and science skills, engineering, design thinking, critical thinking, collaboration. If we talk about the occupations, women in STEM occupations, we know that the biggest number of women like a science are biological science. Engineers we have in computers, computers, chemists, and others. So today, young women and whoever else may be interested can do that. So what is the message? Just get out of that, do it on the way, and do it with the work, do it with the heart. So we need to encourage the woman. We need to help the woman. We need to continue giving this education, training sessions, coaching them, training them. In Europe, we have a big European platform for the women's science. And so many, me like an educator, I always recognize at my students, especially if we have the students who are coming from the rural parts, we're helping them. We're helping them to get the grants, to get the grants from the government. So many my students have an opportunity to go outside of Croatia and continue the education, because now also yesterday I was writing a project for 15 women students. So applying tomorrow in the morning and hoping that my students will get the money and go to Oxford. So that is the mission of us. And if we all do that, if we all help our students, if we encourage the women in the STEM careers, I can say that we will be blessed. We listen our great Natasha. I always say God sent her to me because Natasha say how was her life, what she go through the life, but she's a optimist. She's a full of energy, and she's always here to help. We around us always need to have women, people who are encouraging us, who are strengthening us. No people who are the pessimists. Before today, I also get some messages. I was very sad because I hate people who are doing bad things. So I always move that people from my side. So we need to give the girls, the women, the skills, the confidence to succeed in the STEM, to improve and support STEM education for all the girls and women in the early education. We need to work to attract, recruit, retain the girls and women in STEM majors and the fields, improve the job hiring, retention, promotion, giving them the pathways intentionally and in all the cultures. We are today on the IIU India stage, but we know that gender equality, we have a gender equality index, which is measuring the inequality in quality. Women always need to have a work, so large gender segregation, the gender nature of quality. Women receive lower earnings and incomes than the men. Women always outnumber the men at university. So the unequivocal division of time is extending to the other activities. You can finish the same faculty, university, and the men always have a better, easier job than a woman. So we need to give this, we need to break this bias, we need to encourage the woman, help the woman, give them the main digital knowledge, encourage them to work in STEM, encourage them to go to the field of engineering. So I will today finish with one example. When I look through my window, I see a grave, but it is not nearby me, but I see. We have in my town a girl with who is laying, who died in sea in my town, and her portrait today is $20 million. So the girl with the 20 million portrait lies in my town in the grave. And just before 1 year we started, she's Welly Nozzle, famous Welly Nozzle, and her portrait is 20 million. So I want to empower all too, not only for digitalization. Become faithful to your original nature. Self-confidence, femininity, helplessness, goodness, independence, the ability to live in here and now, to know, to make an impression, to be a good housewife, to have ability to accept the happiness, to show genuine interest, to have the communication skills, to grace, to be elegant, to conquer with a smile, with a naturalness and sincerity. So today I will stop here. I can also, like Natasha, talk a lot, especially when I'm angry. Today I'm angry, and especially today I can talk a lot when I'm angry. Thank you.
Dr. Nada, that was quite informative. And we're so happy that you addressed almost all the challenges, though you didn't open your presentation. I think it was just flowing out from your mind.
See what I do today.
That was really fabulous. I really mean it. And the way you mentioned about the two working models of the digital skills, emerging working trends when it comes to the digital resilience of becoming practical, and which is much needed for future work 4.0, that's very much important. And not to mention that you just covered the gaps, the gender gaps between the technology designing and the programming, technology use of monitoring and controlling with the system analysis and evaluation, and also covering the points under leadership and social influence, where we are so emotionally talking about your students and helping them out, and persuasion, negotiation part of it, and taking them further with these two key initial objectives and initiatives that will help women navigate through the new future of work. Thank you, Dr. Nada. That was quite informative. Really. Thank you so much. We really enjoyed it with you.
Thank you.
Over to Ms. Sandy.
Hello, good evening, and it has been a powerful couple of minutes. Last couple of minutes, we've had like goosebumps from our Psalmist, and then Dr. Nada, empowering along with digitalization. And in this modern world, digital technology is indispensable, and we know that the advantages that come with it, but we also know that there is always a risk and safety factor in the digital space, and especially when it concerns women, we should look at that as well. So I personally feel that resilience in digitalization does not mean only to have a particular set of skills, but it should also mean that it should be safeguarding against cyber harassment and other kinds of risks as well. So when we talk about safety and security of women, just like any other fundamental right, this one is too. And it is definitely a critical prerequisite to build an inclusive and progressive society. So in spite of so much technological progress, we still feel, we see, and we witness various forms of violence, harassment, and discrimination in both physical and digital spaces. And women are definitely facing this. So to highlight and enlighten more on the safety factor of the women, so we have with us Dr. Syed Mansoor Shah, who has been serving the education sector for the last 15 years as a teacher, trainer, and senior Cambridge English teacher. He's a winner of AK's Global Teacher Award 2021. And he's also the unit leader of Duke of Edinburgh program, author of English of O-level book international, and speakers in many global platforms. He's an adults reformer in Pakistan and international International Human Rights Organization. Sir, the digital dais is yours. Dr. Syed, are you there?
Yeah, he's there. He has to unmute himself.
Dr. Syed, may I request you to unmute yourself and give your inputs on security and safety for women.
Professor Mansoor, do you hear us? Professor Mansoor, Shah, Professor.
Yes, hi everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you so much, Professor Nada,
Most
for providing
welcome.
opportunity.
Always.
Such an important topic. Yeah, I think I'm audible to you, right?
Yes, yes, you are. Yes, you
So-
are.
So, respectable audience, accelerating the women peace and security, that is an important topic. So violence and discrimination and blight women's life and hold a job to improve women's rights and safety in communities in which we operate. We just provide them like a good place to work. We can provide them a safe place where they can operate and perform their jobs. Harassment is one of the 8 salient human rights issues we have identified for our business. Women have right to be free from violence, harassment, and discrimination, and removing the barriers of an unsafe environment. It can help women fulfill their potential as individuals and as contributors to work communities and economies. But the world Health Organization estimates that that 35% women worldwide have experienced either physical violence or non-partner violence in their lifetime. It's hard to put a price on the emotional and physical impact of violence on women's health and well-being. Well, research suggests the cost of violence against women each year is around 1.5 US dollar trillion, that is an estimated 2% of global GDP. The importance of protecting women's rights is recognized in the UN Sustainable Development Goal (SDG), particularly those on gender equality (SDG 5) and the decent work and economic growth (SDG 8). Like we as educators, it's our job to promote safety for women in our workplace, in our extended supply chain. As an educator, as an important part of community, it's our aim to implement policies and process the women trust with emphasis on addressing the harmful social and cultural norms and behavior that can leave women at risk. This is our moral obligation, and we know it's essentially for our business is to maintain the trust and reputation we aspire to. Give them the trust and confidence they will perform their job. Well, women make up half of the million strong workplace and perform their crucial labor, intensive task of plucking tea leaves. But they are too often subjected to violence and further denied their rights by inadequate or non-existent grievance mechanism and safe spaces. At the same time, men dominate the better paid clerical and managerial positions in the plantation, with promotional opportunities denied to women. We set up partnership to address this violence. It should be eradicated. Women should take equal place like men to promote their confidence and to promote their better lifestyle. Well, women are also active agents of peace in armed conflict. Yet their role as key players and change agents of peace has been largely unrecognized. Acknowledging and integrating the different understanding, experiences, and capabilities of women into all aspects of UN peace operation is essential for success of UN peacekeeping efforts in sustaining peace. Well, here are 6 ways we can help prevent gender-based violence, and we can accelerate safety and security of ladies. Increase funding to end violence against women and girls. In 2018, less than 1% of the humanitarian funding worldwide went towards programs to prevent and respond to gender-based violence. A study found that between 2018 and 2021, funding needs for programs to prevent and respond to gender-based violence were not even met on the third. The root cause of the gender-based violence is gender inequality. The government should prioritize supporting gender equality in all their humanitarian action and work closely with local women's rights and women's-led organizations. Keep girls in school, educate them. They're going to build the foundation of an educated society. When girls in crisis countries enter school, many do not finish due to their early marriages, or the obligation or task take on the household chores. 43% girls in Nigeria, 37% like girls in DRC, and 40% of girls in Ethiopia are subjected to child marriages. We should work on that. We should educate the society. We should organize such policies that we should send girls to the school so that they can educate themselves. Well, the barriers to the girls' education must be addressed. These include gender-based violence, right? Like reproductive growth services. Keeping girls in school gives them greater safety and security, better health and education, and more control over their life choices. Well, champion women's economic empowerment. Empower the women. They're going to solve the problem. They should work side by side with the men. When women have economic opportunities, it can enhance their status in their household and communities. But the economic problems of the women is intensified by violence, crisis, and displacement. Women affected by conflict and displacement suffer trauma and restriction on their movement, as well as unequal access to the labor market and financial services. Women everywhere require safety at work and freedom from discrimination, harassment, and violence in order to safely generate an income. Women's economic empowerment in contexts affected by crisis and displacement must address these intersecting barriers to economic opportunities. Provide them the confidence, provide them trust. Similarly, when women are given cash in emergencies, increase the freedom. They have to make their own choices. The good news is that the use of the cash is increasing. The IIC provides cash to women so that they can buy the goods and services they need. We're also working, thank you so much, IIU, the way you are providing services and foundation to empower the women. I appreciate that. Include women and girls in decision making. It is an important step to provide them like security. Women are often underrepresented in leadership and planning around humanitarian crisis. This means women and girls remain like marginalized in crisis response plans and recovery efforts. The meaningful participation of women and girls at all levels and all backgrounds is vital to safeguard progress on gender equality and promote more inclusive societies. To do this, it's our job, our responsibility, changing our IIU looks like, and remove the barriers for women and girls to lead and participate in decision making on all levels. They are equal like men. We need to create more equitable leadership in crisis planning and response. Women-led groups working in their communities are essential in identifying and providing a platform for current and future leaders in conflict and crisis-affected settings. Engagement in the fight to end violence against women and girls by engaging men in examining destructive notions of masculinity, gender, and power behavior can change as more and more male allies activity practice and promote gender equality in their daily lives. While engagement in gender equality should always be guided by and accountable to the affected women and girls. Last but not least, give them the best education, give them the confidence and trust. They will bring a change. And it's the only way to provide the real security, the real safety to the ladies all over the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Mansoor. And it was a very, very informative, and the key points which we was spoken made a total impact, especially including the women and girls in the in every aspect of the society to bring in sustainability. And we thank you for the input, and it's time for me to now tell you, if we were to look at sustainability as a phase, then the two eyes that will be to bring in sustainability, to see sustainability, will be the women and the youth, which we are moving ahead with. And there cannot be a difference between the right eye and the left eye. We need to empower our youth to embrace sustainability and shape a better future for our planet. And on this perspective, to bring and make sustainability as a way of our life, we have our next speaker, who is Professor Yelena Boskovic.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
You in India, listen, the L, the G is not Jelena. Yelena.
Yelena Boskovic. Yelena Boskovic from Serbia.
Yeah, Yelena Boskovic from Serbia.
From Serbia. University professor in science and academician.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
To introduce you, it is my privilege to introduce Professor Yelena Boskovic from Serbia, who's an academician, who has a master's degree and PhD from the Faculty of Agriculture in the year 1992. And she is also the advisor to the president of Metropolitan University in Belgrade and director of A. Rasa Institute in Belgrade since 2018. And she has worn many hats, and her short introduction probably runs to 2 to 3 pages, but to cut a long story short, she has taught in many institutions by invitation and in many countries in the world. And she's the manager of several scientific, international and national projects, and accreditation of several faculties and study programs and scientific research work. She's a mentor and member of the Commission of 60 doctoral dissertations and 110 masters and master's theses, and mentor of 780 graduate theses. So I can only say that she has been younger and younger with the younger generation all around her. And she's the author and co-author of 595 scientific papers published in reference journals and numerous books and studies. And she's created over 10,000 wheat hybrids according to the leaf rust pathogen. So she's a regular member of Matikar, SPA, and NAP and IRASA. And Professor Yelena is the winner of numerous national and international awards and recognitions for science, contribution to the development of higher education, both at the national level and international level. So we are waiting for your inputs on how do we bring in sustainability through youth empowerment. Professor Jelena.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all the friends all the world. Dear friends, my pleasure from all world. I greet you with good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How can we talk about sustainable development of life with the participation of women, equal-paid human beings? Through life's journey, it has been shown that it takes a lot to improve consensus and understanding that a woman and the light of our planet Earth. Light of our planet Earth is woman. I owe special thanks for the invitation to be guest speaker, and I extended my warm regards my colleague, Professor Dr. Nada Ratković, is a lady with knowledge, kindness, and intellectual integrity who is worthy of respect. They, my Nada friends and my colleague and Virginia Rivera and all women world.
Dr. Srividhya, Dr. Srividhya.
Dr. Srividhya. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry, I forget to name. I will present with special piety the secret of leadership is not for underlined. Thank you all for being on my part and shining a light on it. You were and remind my light when all the order went out and was difficult to see. And who know, maybe they didn't even go out, only their light was no longer strong enough to clearly illuminate my stormy part. When we are little, we all dream and fantasize about what we grow up to be like when we grow up. And when grow big, actually see how small we are. The only question is how we measure size and in which direction why decides to grow. Life offers us ultimate creativity possibilities and overcoming and life's challenge. An elegant fly through the art of joy importance to us. My field of science, education, always present in every segment of my life. I managed to build myself as leader through numerous steps, and I am a role model for many women, scientists, university professors, women in the corporate world, etc. It is a world. The countries only belong to men, not women. Women have always been the basis of the existence of the world and half of the world's human population. Relation society have made in other selves and the wonderful book written of Simone Beauvoir. In this turbulent 21st century, we really have to fight for equality in all segments of life, for our successful and creative life in all direction, to use imagination, and then a world of endless possibility open up before us. A wise women hears unveiled and understanding too. Life is always saves in the true. Let's learn how to be silent so that know how to speak. One day, everyone leave and we are left alone. We must have clear mind for everything that happens to us in life journey. The past teaches was experience not to repeat the same mistakes. The present is real and accept in the sunshine. The future is planned. Out of planner and uncertain monitoring in the real world. We decided a long time ago that life is big stage and each of us play our role, which depends on the producer of the sun. Life either is challenging, advantage, or is not, or it's nothing. We do what we can, where we are, with we have. Let's take our life into our hand. Will you happen a terrible thing for which we will have not to blame? It's not the years in our life that count, but the life our years. We cannot waste creativity. The more we use it, the more we have. The two most important days in our lives are days we were born and they realize what we born for. Whether we think we can or we think we can't, in both cases we are right. No one can make us feel inferior with our consent. There is only way to avoid criticism, to say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing. It's never too late to be who he called be. Border and the fences, what posed to them? The answer is the women herself. And who moved them? Only a real leader and a woman. How women leaders are difficult to accept the men's. Female leader, it's no secret that many people look down on women because of certain qualities that bring respect to men. This phenomenon has various effects that make it difficult for women to advance in the corporate world, science, education, in all matter of life, because certain behavior is attended exclusive to men. In this way, the idea that a female leader can equality good, or even better, for certain rules and position is invalidated. But it's frustrating that this situation causes women to neglect her leadership potential. There is a reason for these behaviors and quality such as ambition, assertivity, and compromising vision are precisely the quality for which women in leadership position. A woman is commanding leader, no compromise. When a man take responsibility, he's a leader. When a female leader does the same, she gets the label of someone is always given order. This is a clear example of double standard for man and woman. We should not treat someone, male or female, take matters in their own hand and to be boss. Only for women in business are the words command boss leader view with a deeply negative connection. In reality, women who are fighting and for leadership position are characterized as bossy. For now, it seems that this cannot be avoided. That's why such insignia should be formed as badge of honor. Why should they be ashamed of something we are good at? We love organization. We love to lead, to celebrate, to direct our teams and the best work possible. Go ahead. Let's not other people judgment and stereotype affect you. A woman as an compromised leader. Everyone loves uncompromised women. Just look at how everyone admires Oprah Winfrey. Everyone other because she say and does think that no should by everyone world. She doesn't put with everyone. They say what in her mind. She know what need to be done and does it. But when is a woman leader like that? Sadly, she is not characterized as charming, but is sharp. It is just a synonym for someone. No, he need will make through a guess is certainly easier done, especially an environment called. You have truth, you instinct and institution to do right thing because the only realize your vision. Woman as an assertive leader, another negative trait that stick to women a leadership position is that someone is different person is actually means that you don't agree to everything, that you understanding the circumstance of certain situation, it give up easily. So reject this stereotype and realize that no God achieved business politics and let others discuss. A woman as confident leader, divorced, think a woman some call of us busy. When someone call someone that always do with hesitation, it is actually a pride that someone is very cocky, and they have so much confidence in self and their skill. But this, especially from leaders.
Hi, Dr. Yelena will talk till tomorrow also today.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay, my dear Nada.
Come to the conclusion,
We
please.
accept the time of new knowledge. Thank you very much.
So sorry, Dr.
For briefly having
Yelena.
the secret of leadership that is not for understanding. Transformation leadership narrative in the 21st century, women leadership oriented to change of the most productive type of leader a new economy. I wish you happy life journey through leadership. Warm greeting from Yelena, with lots of love and warm greetings all world, all women world. Success
Bravo.
woman. Success woman. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my
Dr.
lady.
Yelena, the best science on the places in Europe here, and the most beautiful lady. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you
My
so
Nada, Virginia, Srividhya, etc. Thank you very much. And Natasha in energetic Natasha, energetic woman. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Listen now. We have also a very, very strong lady. She's coming from United Kingdom. Dr. Sandy, please, would you introduce her? She's amazing.
Absolutely. Before I do that, I would like to put it a word for Professor Dr. Yelena's speech, which is power-packed, and that made me remind of one Sanskrit quote that says, Sri Shakti Janani. That means the woman is the powerhouse, or the conceptual, inception point of everything that is prosperous. And as I could hear her, I could visualize a society where there are strong and powerful women in every corner, given all their rights. And we move on to introduce our next speaker, Professor Dr. Koroma, Augusta Elizabeth Koroma. She has been a school governor for Holcombe Grammar School since 2016 to 23, and she has been an international education advisor for the Global Educators Health for Global Educators Forum India, and she has received an award for Best Global Principal Award. And apart from that, she has been awarded by our very own International Internship University India as a member of Gold Trainer Academy. And she has a lot of awards in her kitty, and she is a prolific local and international conference speaker, and she has spoken into many important and renowned places like the Parliament UK, BBC Ability and BBC Embrace UK, and World Orphan Drug Congress USA. And we would like her to come here and give her inputs on climate change and disaster risk reduction. Yeah, Professor Dr. Koroma, may we have
Yes, thank you, Dr. Balaji, there for that warm introduction. I must say, it has been a very beautiful day here in the United Kingdom. Welcome, everybody. As you've seen, my name is Professor Dr. Augusta Elizabeth Koroma. Thank you, Professor Nadia, for having me.
Can I say something? You are always beautiful. Today, in that green dress, I never see you in the green color. Famous.
I'm in the green color because I'm talking about climate change today.
Wow.
Yes. So thank you so much, Professor Nada, for having me here on this wonderful platform amongst distinguished guest speakers. I must applaud every single one of them that have spoken today, and really great discussion, really insightful there. So welcome, so very welcoming today, actually. Today, I'm talking about climate change and disaster risk reduction. As you can see, I'm wearing green today, so it just brightens my mood in talking about climate change, really. Coming from a public health science, really, public health is the science and protecting improving the health of people and their communities. So climate change is part of it, really. So today I'll start with the climate change. Climate change, as the host nation of COP26, that's the United Kingdom, which is the conference of the party, COP26 conference of the party, that's the meaning, provides a unique opportunity for the UK education sector to showcase its roles in positively responding to climate change and inspiring and calling on international partners to act. Through this, the UK is helping to drive forward a global agenda to prepare the next generation to respond to climate change and to ensure that the voices of our leaders, teachers, and young people are heard, really. And that's fantastic. In United Kingdom, in 2021, this is particularly true, as the UK is hosted the flagship International Climate Conference, COP2 in Glasgow. Climate change is a global emergency. The UK and many other countries have had years to work towards solutions. So that's why Greenpeace, along with many other environmental organizations and protest groups, continue to push for strong government and corporate action to tackle climate change. And one of the ways here in the UK they are trying to tackle it is introducing the ULEZ. ULEZ is the ultra low emission zone. So if your vehicle doesn't meet the ULEZ emission standards, it's exempt. You need to pay like £12.50 daily charge to drive inside the zone. So this applies to cars, motorcycles, vans, specialist vehicles up to including 3.5 tons, and minibuses and up to including 5 tons as well. So it's like it's growing daily, really, in terms of that. So as stated by the United Nations Office for Disaster Reduction, UNDRR, a disaster can be defined as a serious disruption of the function of a community or a society involving widespread human, material, economic, or environmental losses and impacts, which extends the ability of the affected community or society to cope with using its own resources. In the last few decades, societies have become increasingly aware of the fact that disaster can be analyzed as the result of long-term processes, whereby there's also the risk is created years of decades before the disaster manifests itself, really. So risk represents the presence of vulnerable elements in areas exposed to hazard. For over a decade, the UNDR and other regional international organizations have reported that such risks arise due to underlying risk drivers such as unequal economic development, poorly planned, managed urban and regional development, the decline of regulatory ecosystem services, poverty and inequality, weak governance, and weak local capacity. United Kingdom is delivering a better, safer, greener world for future generations, and education is one of our key weapons in the fight against climate change. When I entered the Zoom, there was one of the speakers was talking about education. So, I literally just like had a glimpse of two. So with my presentation here today, linking up with education, because I'm very keen on education. So the entrepreneurial and can-do spirit of the country makes me confident that we will win this fight in terms of climate change. It shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that young people are already very committed to a more sustainable planet. We should be proud of this. And the UK government encouraged this passion so that these can be agents of change in protecting our planet. The new natural history GCSEs will offer young people a chance to develop a deeper knowledge, understanding, and this amazing planet, its environment, and how we can come together to conserve it. The measures are expected to build on the government's pledge for every new school and delivered under the department school rebuilding programs to be cleaner, greener, and net zero in operations. There is a Sendai framework goal and expected outcome, which is to prevent, to reduce disaster risk through the implementation of integrated and inclusive economic, structural, legal, social, health, cultural, educational, environmental, technological, political, and institutional measures that prevent and reduce hazards, exposures, and vulnerability to disaster. It increases preparedness for response and recovery and does strengthen resilience. And therefore, the disaster management cycle ranges from prevention and mitigation, preparedness, rehabilitation and recovery, response, then disaster. So it is like a circle, really. So how education plays a key role in the COP2 and the fight against climate change, really? How does that happen? Quality education, multidisciplinary education rich in values and the relationship of natural sciences. Education in natural science gives a guidance, it generates awareness, sensitivity, and a concern for nature and the environment. It is valuable as the search for truth may teach the virtues of honesty, humility, and responsibility. Quality education, multidisciplinary education rich in values and the relationship of natural science. In the United Kingdom, 60 million children, young people, and adults in education. So through education, we have the privilege to be able to engage directly with the children and young people who are passionate about the natural world and wants to do their best, really, to protect it, and it can influence the wider communities, really. So through their learned and lived experiences from early years to further and higher education, we can provide opportunities to develop a broad knowledge, understanding of the importance of nature, sustainability, and the causes and impact of climate changes, and to translate this knowledge into a positive action and solution. So the Department of Education prescribes the contents of science education for GCSEs and A-levels, which is implemented by the qualification boards who are then regulated by Ofqual. The Department of Education also regulates science education for students aged 16 and under. The department's policies of science education and indeed all subjects are implemented by local governments, authorities on all state schools, also called publicly funded schools in England. Education for sustainable development allows every human being to acquire the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values necessary to shape a sustainable future. It also requires participatory teaching, learning methods that motivate, empower learners to change their behavior and take action for sustainable development. So behavioral intervention here, it's so very important. Education for sustainable development consequently promotes competencies like critical thinking, imagining future scenarios and making decisions in a collaborative way. Taking the outdoors as a classroom is based lifelong learning to understand nature and to sustain life for all future generations is a valuable dominant learning objective in curriculum across the spectrum of teaching in the United Kingdom. So what's the importance of environmental education in this sense, really? Firstly, it promotes healthy lifestyle. All of us want a healthy lifestyle, but some of us are not doing the healthy lifestyle skills. The second, it entails respect for nature. Do you respect your environment where you live? Are you littering things on the floor, you know, in your green space? Or are you protecting your greener space? Teaches children about environmental challenges. Trains on significance of being kind to nature, kindness. Just as if you're kind to yourself, be kind to nature as well. You teaches them to be responsible. You assist government meets its objective. The disaster risk reduction here. According to the UNDR, disaster risk management is the systematic process of using administratives, directives, organizations, operational skills, capacities to implement strategies, policies, improving coping capacities in order to lessen the adverse impact of hazards and the possibility of disaster. So when successful, disaster risk management efforts aim to reduce the effects of hazards through activities, measures, and related to prevention, mitigation, and preparedness. So we've all heard about all these scenarios that I've been talking about. So during my science visit this year at the Holcombe Grammar School, it was observed that peoples that emerges through environmental education are one step ahead and their future into accountability adults. For examples, like St. Simon's Stock in Maidstone, Kent, helps students to maintain and develop the science and mathematical skills that are more beneficial to their lives. In conclusion, I urge every person to take a lead in a certified manner to secure a better, safer, cleaner, and most importantly, a better environmental for our future generations to come. Share and spread the risk to prevent disaster losses being absorbed by other developmental outcomes and creating additional poverty. Although disaster risk reduction includes disaster preparedness and response activities, it is about much more than managing disasters. Thank you so much for listening to me today, this afternoon here from the United Kingdom. A very welcome and a good day to you all. Thank you so much, IIU University. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was really, what to say, outstanding. Sandy will say, thank you, Dr. Augusta, for being always great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Augusta Elizabeth Koroma, you were so right on the fact that sensitizing the younger generation for their own greener tomorrow through their current education system in UK. You have given so much insight, and the best part, the tagline that we need to really emphasize for the world ahead is be kinder to nature, just as you would to be to yourself.
To yourself, yes.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing, and thank you so much for the input. And we are
You're
all
welcome.
going back thinking and giving it back to all the future people around us. And may I now request Dr. Nada to spearhead the show further and introduce the next guest.
Okay, let us call. We have an amazing educator from the Philippines. She is Esmenia C. Celeste. Welcome, Esmenia. Please, today, first time with us, also at IIU. She was an ex-principal. She's working a lot on the leadership, author, co-author.
Are we missing out one more speaker before Armenia? That's Krishnaraj, I think. Mr. Krishnaraj is going to talk. Yeah. Who's going to talk about future of work industry 4.0? Yeah.
Okay, but I told Dr. Srividhya at Philippines, it is very late. It is very late at Philippines.
Okay.
So if Esmenia can make a speech, because very, very late at Philippines already.
Okay, so Mr. Krishnaraj,
Thank you.
our apologies.
Please unmute yourself, Esmenia. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, please. Your mic. Your mic, please unmute yourself. Okay, great.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, anyway, this is just a 10-minute talk. So thank you. Good evening from the Philippines. So I'm greeting you. Good evening from the Philippines. So I'm so happy, of course, to be with you today. And thank you to Nada, of course, for the trust in giving me the opportunity to be a part of promoting world peace through my topic, ushering in an era of no war, and that is peace. So yes, we can all be ushers of peace, and let us work collaboratively. So with that, to start with, let us reflect on the first line of my favorite song as I sing it. I try it, just one line. It's, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Yes, this is my personal mantra, and it should be everybody's mantra to live by if we really want to obtain world peace. Peace from within is vital. Let's start within us, and the world will go with it. Let's spread love and live in contentment for inner and outside peace. So I have these are very simple things, no? Two things that I wanted to share. So let us be peacemakers rather than, let us be peace builders rather than peacemakers. Because peacemaking involves stopping an ongoing conflict, whereas peace building happens before a conflict arises. So let's be proactive in promoting peace and not reactive when the conflict is already there. Prevention is better than cure. Let's be a builder of peace and live in perfect harmony as one big family, in taking care of each other, in taking care of our resources and the world where we live in. So for me, as ushers and agents of peace, we should have love and contentment. Both are basic. These are very basic but are very important ladder to achieve world peace. So these are basic and fundamental factors to promote and maintain world peace. We need to deepen our understanding on these two things with the acronym LOVE. Let us reflect why the world is in chaos, grabbing each other's wealth, power, possessions, and positions per se. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we hear you.
Love
Continue.
makes the world go around. And my discussion go around the world love. Because when there is love, there is peace. And this is really what the world needs. So for letter L, let's live with contentment. How do you differentiate happiness and contentment? These are two different things. And I have here 3 questions for you to answer in your mind. Are you happy but not contented? Are you contented but not happy? Are you happy and contented? Most of the time, because we are so busy in this busy world, we do not have time. No, we don't find time to ask ourselves or to be aware of our happiness and contentment. So let's find the answer. Happiness is a short-term goal, while contentment is a long-lasting piece of happiness, accompanied by peacefulness, gratitude, and satisfaction. But if we are not contented with our life, with our career, with our relationships, there are so many broken relationships, wealth, power, position, material possessions, and whatever we dream of, we will not be happy and we will never be in peace. So why is contentment important to promote peace? When one is not contented and does not know the true meaning of love, this is the problem of the world. We don't know. There is a problem of the true meaning of love. So, of course, we will be pushed and be driven by selfishness and greediness to grab and steal what others have. And there will be war between and among individuals, in the family, in the workplace, in the community, that may lead and grow into a wider scope, war between nations, among nations, which is happening nowadays. And this is where everybody should act on it. And thank you for this project in working towards world peace. And I'm really happy to be a part of it with these very simple insights, very simple and very basic, but these basic things, as I've said, are the most important things for us to reach world peace. So contentment is a state of being happy and satisfied in whatever with an individual to be while we work for our better future. With that, I was able to form my own philosophy as a sign of my contentment. As an educator, I wanted to soar to the highest horizon I could reach, not necessarily in terms of position, of possession, fame, wealth, and power, but of service. And with that, I have inner peace and contentment. I am happy and contented with my life. I am happy as I write my books and speak as motivational speaker, sharing my life experiences for others to win and succeed as well, and to find peace and happiness. So now let's go back with the questions and answer them in your mind. Do you still have the same answer? Are you happy but not contented? Are you contented but not happy? Are you happy and contented? Very simple questions that we need to reflect and really ask ourselves, with the so many achievements that we achieve in life, are we really happy? And that is now the challenge, because if we are not happy and we are not contented, then there's something wrong with us. And we might be able to do something that is not good within our community. So we should aim to live towards a happy and contented life. O, let's go to letter O, open channels of communication. We all know that words are very powerful to maintain and promote peace. As peacemakers, let us initiate dialogues by listening and asking questions within our small groups. We always have to start, as I've said, from ourselves and with the people that we are with. Then this will help us gain greater understanding of what is hindering progress and will help us better address the central issue. In a dialogue, let us seek to understand the sides of the issue, all sides of the issue. We have to listen with understanding and empathy, with love and respect on others' opinion and culture, such as respect of one's beliefs, human rights, and equality, interfaith as well. But when conflict arises as inevitable, let's help solve a problem and not to be the problem. Let's help solve the problem and not to push for a bigger problem. Let us be proactive and be a peacemaker to world peace by starting from within and in our own community where we live in. Now, let's go to letter V, value one's worth. This is where respect for one's uniqueness and individuality comes in. Others will see your value as you see it by yourself. So we have to value ourselves. We have to love ourselves. And we have to win ourselves, because the very first enemy that we need to win is ourselves. To value yourself, you must avoid comparison, for you may become vain and bitter, for there will always be greater and lesser persons than yourself. That's according to the poem Desiderata. Accept who you are, including your shortcomings and weaknesses. Be proud of yourself, of your little or small accomplishments, without comparing with others. So be happy, be contented. If you are contented, automatically you are happy. But if you are happy, it does not mean that you are contented, because happiness is temporary and contentment is long-lasting. So comparing yourself with others will only make you unhappy and push you to do evil things that would create war, not peace. Valuing one's worth can contribute to better work, better health, and overall mental and emotional well-being, and better relationships with ourselves, with others, and with the whole world. Valuing and loving oneself will lead to loving others and the world as well. And the last, but not the least, we have E, empower one another. To empower someone means to give them the means to achieve something, to become stronger and more successful. Let's help one another to grow and to succeed. The world should help one another for a better world to live in. Empowerment means people having power and control over their own lives, but with boundaries and expectations to observe. We should give the kind of support what people need and what is right for them. Let us give them equal rights to live a decent and happy and contented life. You know, I also love the poem, The Miller of the Day, The Miller of the Day. If you are familiar with that the king was jealous with the miller who just lived a very simple life, but he sings every day with happiness and contentment. And according to him, when the king asked him what makes him happy, and he answered, I envy nobody, no not I, and nobody envies me. So envy is one thing that creates war and not peace. So in summary, let's spread love and let's live in contentment and create a peaceful community to live with. That's all. It's a very simple insight, but I hope that it really reach the bottom of our heart and to put it into action, because in learning it should be passed through the mind and enter into our hearts, so that things that we learn and appreciated by the heart should be put into action. Thank you very much, and thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. That is why you are in Master Your Life. You are mastering today our life. Thank you, dear Celestina. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Dr. Sandy.
Yes. Definitely, it was something for all of us to ponder about. It is not just the, the inner peace is the first thing that will lead to the world peace. So let us all strive to bring in inner peace amongst ourselves, bring in world peace as well.
Well, I'd like to add on here. That reminded me about Miss Ermina's speech, reminded me about Jackie's song, to believe in a day when hunger and war will pass away, to have the hope amidst despair, that every sparrow is counted, that you hear each cry and listen to each prayer. Thank you, Miss Ermina. That was a brilliant piece of sharing on this platform of G20. Thank you so much. And with much apologies, we would like to invite Mr. Krishnaraj. Mr. Krishnaraj, hope you're here with us. So on that note, I would like to introduce Mr. Krishnaraj, who is representing Tech for Good from US, who is an entrepreneur from education continuity and employability, and who has an exciting intersection of technology and community, and who is working towards strategies, startup, and who is also a board advisor and investor. And we would not really fail to congratulate one of his recent achievement, that he has come up with Unsung Heroes, which has been acknowledged by the BBC channel, which he has called himself as each coin has two sides. One side is teaching and one side is learning. Regarding learning, there is an estimation of 244 million children and youth below the ages of 6 and 18 worldwide, where out of the schools in 2021, the project that he's working on is being accoladed. Over to you, Mr. Krishnaraj, and the floor is all yours, and we're going to take it forward. Thank you, Mr. Krishnaraj. Hope you're here with us. And how much ever that we are going to say here, that's going to be too very less for you. So over to you. You can introduce yourself and take over the floor. Thank you.
Good day. Good day. Pleasure being here. Thanks once again, Dr. Srividhya. I just witnessed absolute powerful speeches from all the eminent ladies here, who come with a lot of passion, insights, right from the global warming, the COP, the need for being conscious, the peace. So this has been a absolutely brilliant afternoon. I have a very short take on this. I'm not an academician as such. I'm a practitioner. So my view on a few of the things is from the perspective of business. And it's more from my experience, more from the way I have seen things. So I want to give a quick introduction of what we do and directly get into what's happening around the world as we see. And I would take about 7 minutes for this, if it is fine.
Yeah, 7 can be even half of it, if it can be.
Okay. All right. Okay. The topic. Can you see the screen, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen?
So actually,
No, we don't see it.
we don't see that. So is
No.
it possible to share?
You can share. You have an option to share, Sir Krishna, but we don't see it.
Something came up actually, Mr. Krishna.
It's interesting. It's quite interesting. Give me a moment, please.
We are able to see something there.
Dr. Srividhya, I will need to go very soon because I have the training, mentors training, and I'm now, so I will give you the option.
Okay.
Okay, I will now just few minutes and I need to leave.
Yes, Mr. Krishna, please go ahead.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, it is
Yeah,
visible.
all right.
Yes.
Now, please go
Yes.
ahead.
All right, okay. I have an organization called B2I2. The whole idea of setting up this organization is to use technologies for human good. We have two sides. One side of the education is early learning, and the second side of education is lifelong learning. We support 7 SDGs in a matter of our work. So this is how we are configured. New Learn is for early education. We operate in the global south, whereas Taleme Academy is a skill development platform for people who are graduating or people who are trying to upskill and stay relevant in their jobs. So the topic which we are going to talk today is work in the context of Industry 4.0. So let's just get some definitions in terms of very simple definitions. What's the definition of work in your understanding? So these are I have not Googled it. It's my own definitions. So in my definition, work is something, it's an activity which is carried out in anticipation of a gain. And again, not necessarily is bad because you're anticipating something. So the input could be physical work, which is manual work, or it could be intellectual work, or it could be emotional work. And the output, the gain, what you get is either you're looking to get money or influence or recognition, satisfaction or actualization. So it's like do-gooder. And let's understand what's future. And my own definition of future is that it's a perceived idea of present at a time which is ahead, but it's influenced by the present. So even in 2 minutes, when I say 9 minutes, that's the future we are talking about. It's not the present. What is happening now, as we are speaking, you're listening, you're observing, that's the present. And what's industry? So it's important for me to just demystify these words in the context of our discussion today. Industry. So my definition of industry is that it's a formation which uses work to gain in present or in future. And what's Industry 4.0? So this is the last definition which we need to understand in today's context. What's Industry 4.0? So if you look at evolution of industry from the very beginning, the industry which uses technologies which are the most recent one. So when somebody says that industry which uses future technologies, that's not possible because the future technologies do not exist today. So you cannot use a resource which is available in the future for doing today's work. So whoever says that I'm using future technology, they're possibly meaning that they're using technology which are most recent ones, but it's not exactly future. So if you look at the industry, how the evolution has happened in the last couple of centuries is that it started with mechanization, which we call as industry 1.0, the steam engines. Then you have the mass production, which is the Henry Ford, the types where you had usage of electricity to do mass production. Then you had the industry 3.0. This is what we are possibly having in most part of the world now, where electronics and IT systems and automations. And the industry 4.0 is happening even now, is that where you are connecting machines with intelligence, cyber physical things. So it's not that the evolution has happened in such a manner that everything today is 4.0. No, it is possible to coexist with the earlier generation technologies also. And you will see that in a moment. So as you see, the industry 4.0 is more about intelligence, more about connectivity, more about data than the machines themselves. So let's just take a simple example. Let's take the example, which is communication, simple communication. How are the communication which were happening in the earlier days? You know this? The smoke signal. The smoke signal. This is how people were trying to communicate with one another when they're in a distance. It could be distress call. This could be sending a message. Then comes the pigeon, the carrier pigeon. I think it became more famous during the times of war or even in the World War. Then comes a little bit of technology, which is fax machines. Then comes the internet, where people were trying to send emails and receive emails using mobile phones. Now, at the fifth level, you have interconnected devices, which is IoT, big data. So what's happening, if you really see in the core of it, in the most fundamental level, the fundamentals have not changed. The basic need to communicate has remained. It's only the means of communicating has changed, and it gives us more and more opportunities. So how does it affect, connecting that to what's the future of work? Dr. Srividhya asked me to speak about future of work in a bit, and I'm trying to make a connection between how does it get connected. One, there is more and more demand which will happen for operators with most recent skills, and there will be diminishing demand for people who are using a skill which is a bit obsolete. Think of someone who is wanting to go and do a typewriting course today. It could be interesting for them from academic interest, but from a job perspective, it may not be that very exciting. So if you look at the potential for automations, we briefly talked about automation. So this is the amount of percentage that the jobs are on the top to bottom. And on the right, left to right, you will see the impact of automation. So jobs like office and administrative support can get impacted as much as 50%, which means that 50% of the jobs can get automated. And as it comes down and down, construction and extraction, the impact of technology could be 6%, which means that it can help them in terms of improving efficiency, but in terms of job stability, that gets little less effect from technology by itself. So this is a very recent survey from World Economic Forum. 2 months ago, they published the report that what's happening on jobs. I think all of us have heard of AI. We have heard of ChatGPT. We have heard of a lot of things which is around that. ChatGPT uses AI, but ChatGPT does not mean AI. AI means much more than that. So if you look at the ones which is in purple color, these are the areas where it will have a negative impact, and the ones which are in blue color has a positive impact. So if you look at the adoption of jobs, you can see that almost as much as 58% impact on big data analytics. So the people who are in that field, they can see a huge upsurge. But whereas you have people who are working in the areas of, let's say, text, image, and voice processing, they might get very negatively impacted. And the diamond shape here actually shows the net effect of technology on these respective areas. So why do we have to relook at the education? One is that there is a change, jobs to be done, the industry expectations are different. Second one is that the expectation of individuals by themselves have changed, because it's no more about survival, but it's more about standard of living and quality of living. And third, the demand supply gap. The companies at all levels, they try to serve their customers, and the customers' expectation change. The companies want to change and adopt, and the companies would require completely different types of skill sets in terms of efficiency, in terms of speed, in terms of accuracy, in terms of cost efficiency. So this actually changes the way the demand from the companies get generated. So let's look at, from the company context, what is that they're going to focus on the next 5 years? And this actually determines how the jobs get impacted. So this is a survey of a few thousand organizations, which is done by WF again, that what is that they are going to focus on the next 5 years. So organizations which were surveyed, they said it's almost like 80% plus, 86% of the organization said that they would deploy technologies which are into digital platforms and applications. And almost 50% of the companies said that they will, that's on the other extreme, that they would invest in robots and humanoids, and everything in between was coming into this. So you can see a lot of investments which are going to happen in technologies, right from digital platforms, big data analytics, IoTs, climate change and mitigation technologies. So all these areas are likely to have quite a significant demand in the coming years, because this is not a theoretical assumption. These are the actual facts which are stated by the companies in terms of where they would invest. This is a fairly exhaustive list again from the World Economic Forum and the Future of Job Survey. So what you see in blue is actually shows the expected growth in the jobs in each of these segments. I'm happy to share if somebody wants it. So AI and machine learning specialist is likely to have a very huge demand for their jobs. Whereas on the other extreme, which is on the bottom right side, is that jobs like bank tellers and related clerks. So it's not exactly, it's not that what they were doing is not correct. It's just that there's a more efficient way of doing the same job using technology. And the largest job growth, if you look at it, it's not coming just from technology. It's actually coming from the basic human need. The basic human need is to eat and sleep. The agriculture and equipment operators. That's one of the areas where people are expecting very huge job growth. The heavy truck and bus drivers. So it's not just about technologies by itself, because technology is used for doing something, right? So the basic human needs in terms of hunger and the sleep and the clothing and the healthcare and the education will remain, but only the way of communicating that, the way of addressing that, way of delivering that will change. So how will the future of work look like? And it's my own framework is that anything which is efficient, it's going to be efficiency and value focused. So anything which is repetitive, where you are able to put a mathematical model, that is likely to get automated and disintermediated. Anything which has emotional value with the originality, like painting. I mean, you would not like to pay the same amount of money for a photocopy of the art from Michelangelo, right? You would pay possibly 300 euros for going and listening to a concert, but you will not pay 300 euros for buying a CD or downloading MP3 from the same author or the artist. So skills like singing, yoga, painting, traveling, authentic experiences, food, this will continue to have this growth. Third one is that areas where discretion is used. It could, for example, judges. So judges might use AI or technologies to process the files, but the final judgment will have to be done by a human, because you would not possibly agree with the judgment of a robot, right? It could be consulting, it could be marriage counseling, it could be the consultations. So these are the areas they would use technology, but technology may not replace the entire industry. So what we do as an initiative is that we build platform which will help our users to become relevant in the current sense, this is the link to what we do, Talimi Academy. The whole idea of Talimi Academy is to build skills for people so that they can stay relevant. These are my contacts. Happy to be connected. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was quite very comprehensive, very short, but yet though in detail. And where we have come, I think we have covered about the points of starting from COVID pandemic has accelerated the pace of digital transformation with an increased demand of the smart and reliable communication solutions across the consumer markets and also both the emerging industrial market. That's what is Industry 4.0 is all about. And with the importance of continued digitalization means ensuring long-term economic competition cannot understand or comprehend, and we need to come up with to embrace the new 5G systems that you have rightly mentioned about the upskilling, unlearn, relearn, and also equip yourself to the competition changes, and thereby you become more sustainable. Thank you so much. Thanks for covering it way forward to the infrastructure that has to be built on innovation and also inclusion with strong digital infrastructure and the influence for the fastest enablement that we are talking about. Thank you so much. Hope we are for the transformation for the inclusive growth of global economy.
Thank you, Dr. Srividhya.
Thank you so much. Thank you. On that note, we are here with Mr. Mehil. Mr. Mehil, hope I'm getting your name correct, is from Romania. Welcome to you, sir. He's a graduated computer science engineering from University of Polyhethia, and last year he finished teaching module and have a right to be the teacher in school. So there we have a teacher here, and he likes science and traveling. Well, everybody likes it, brother. And it's very important to, he feels that it's very correspondence between what I study and what I communicate to work. So that's what the whole education is all about, like relating it to life as such. So over to you, not taking much of your time, because this time is preciously yours. And so the forum is all yours, the floor is all yours to take over, Mr. Mehil. Welcome on board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am audible. Okay.
Yes, you're audible.
Perfect. Okay, so my topic it's about innovation and 21st century skills. In my opinion, it's very, very important to know the advantages of this type of the technology. So when we talk about this, also we are talking about globalization and about the community, how to work to develop together. And for all this, I think it's very crucial to have a personal and professional success. Firstly, about the significance of innovation and 21st century skills in this era, it's about how to be in a constant evolution, because as you see, we met a lot of bad things like pandemic, like war, like unpredictable bad things. And for this, it's very important to think how to adapt, how to be always with one step forward than the others. And I think some skills like how to have the curiosity about what happens if I do this, it's a good point, first of all. Also, I think it's very important to navigate in the complexity of all of these skills. It's about the critical thinking. It's about to find a solution to complex problems and also to implement ideas which add values. Innovation can be in all of these aspects, from the products we use to the services we enjoy. It's also about the economical growth, with foster social development and prepares us for the society. And for all of this, I think it's better to give some more example. And let's think, I don't know, like collaboration and teamwork, which also are very good skills and very vital today. With globalization and the rise of remote work, collaborating with diverse teams increase a lot. The ability of communication how to be listened, and also the idea to understand and to be understood. It's also a good thing. With this diverse perspective, each individual skills can accomplish remarkable feats. Moreover, if we are thinking in the sector of computer science, the artificial way is very important because let's give some example. Internet of Things. I think everybody has smartphones which can calculate the heart rate, how many steps they do daily, or something like that. And I think it's a good point. And it's important to understand all of this and to implement more and more to help us in a good way. Not the least, another skills which I think can be very good. It's to develop the digital skills because, as you can see, now everyone is from different part of the world. I am from Romania. Another one can be from Ukraine. Another one can be from India. Another one can be from Croatia. So using the digital skills, we can use Zoom and make a community like we are here at International Internship University. And yes, in my opinion, as a final, I think the key skill it's how to adapt. Also, if we can talk more, we can give an example in the education field where the innovation is always in a good way because we have digital platform, interactive tools, and personal learning experience, which can help for students to develop the critical thinking, problem solving, and also the creativity to have a good vision for the challenging in the future. So using this type of ideas, the business sector also developed and still developing a lot. And yes, in my opinion, we can have a good future if we understand the advantages, the disadvantages, and how we try to make disadvantages good advantages. And I think if we sum all the skills, we can unlock our creative potential, drive progress, and shape a brighter future. Let's embrace innovation and invest in cultivating the 21st century skills necessary for success. Thank you. I finish.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mehul. That was quite comprehensive, talking about, again, the digital skills and which is much required for the transforming, for the inclusive growth and development that we're talking about, and the importance of the digital infrastructure and the cyber security also, which is very much needed, that we really can't leave aside. And to cover both the points about drive a recovery of the national economies and many markets, and also announcing significant investment growth in the digital infrastructure that is to be taken care in all the countries, so that we are able to bridge the gap between the global roadmap and to enable and upgrade the expansion of the digital infrastructure and create opportunities both in short term and long term in the multitude of the innovative applications for a long term. That's what I mean. And supporting digitalization of all the enterprises that is being requested. We cannot compromise on any other field, on any field as such, to develop world's workforce that we are looking at. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Mehir. Well, we have come to the end of the session, and we have got one more speaker with us. We are supposed to talk about, I'm just trying to get in touch with our Miss Mia. Do we have Miss Mia here? Miss Mia?
No, I
don't think so. Well, even then, that was a very powerful session. That's what I look at the session as. Dr. Virginia, if you're there, if you could just add on to that. And since we started from you, we would like to just give the first preference to you so that you can just sum it up. And we have Professor, academician, Dr. I couldn't get your full name. I'm just trying to get it there. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, one more time. Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you. Thank you very much.
Alina,
Thank you very
Dr.
much.
Alina Bosovic. Am I right? Dr. Alina. So over to you. So you can just summarize a little bit and then we can take it further. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Alina.
Question for us. Question for us. Question for us. And then the question for all us, where are women in the world today? How much they make global decision for humanity? Men determine war and peace.
Doctor? Okay, thank you so much. Doctor, you're muted. Doctor, you're muted.
You're on mute.
To me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, question for all us. Where are women in the world today? How much they make global decision for humanity? Men determine war and peace in the world. Where is women? Please answer to us. Please. Men, while women is better for all world, is light of the planet. I'm criticize men. I'm criticize men. Criticize men. I'm a leader. Education, science, and criticize men. Successful women.
That's very true.
Heart. Labyrinth of life. Thank you very much, my lady. Thank you. Thank you, smart lady, successful lady. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alina. That was very kind of you to stay from the beginning of the session. And you were the first one to join us for the session. Until then, just being there, you have become a great inspiration for me today. Yeah, really. Despite age is just a number. And you being there, patiently being there all the while, listening to each one of us, that really inspires me more and more. Really. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the support. That's really fabulous. Yeah.
And I think, живи, oiseau TV, je vis les enfants, toi mire blanc. Je vis, oiseau TV, je vis les enfants, toi mire blanc. French sing. For you.
That's great. That's great. So before we end up, if everybody is kind enough to give me 2 minutes of my time on this great topic of women empowerment, I had just penned down a poem for dedicating for women that I did for celebrating Women's Day. So this is my poem, which I penned it up. Like it's like women. It's there on my website. But if I have the ability, if I have the time, your precious time, then I would like to share this on this platform. Women are self-born, self-manifested, self-existing. So we don't need empowerment. In fact, on a day-to-day life, it's men who need to be empowered because we can take care of our own food, whereas men need to be fed. Hope you'll agree with me on that point. So thank you. Those who bring sunshine to others, keep it within themselves. We inspire, we ignite and inflict and innovate to empower, enlighten, excel, and evolve. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our fear is that we are powerful beyond our measure. We don't know our measure. We are powerful even beyond that. Our light, the strength, not the darkness that frightens us. Often we doubt ourselves. Am I brilliant? Am I gifted? Am I talented? Am I fabulous? Am I optimistic? Who we are not to be. We are skillful, blessed, and we are though prosperous. Our playing small doesn't serve the world. It shrinks down all the opportunities, but we are all meant to shine. We are born to manifest the glory from within. And it's not just in one of us, it's there in every one of us. We need to just look into ourselves rather than looking into the outside world. The workshop from within emits whatever we ask for. It ignites the indomitable spirit and the positive energy that brings in the transformation. It illuminates the light from within to carry us far and beyond. With the illumination of the light, we become enlightened with our knowledge and we get liberated from ourselves, our own fears, our own doubts. And we develop the faith, focus, the grit, and the determination. And we work with dedication to walk those extra miles with the belief that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. But the journey is not always smooth. Sometimes it is smooth, and sometimes the road to success is not straight. There's always a curve called failure. There's always a loop called confusion. But if you spare, called this determination, with the engine of perseverance, with the protected insurance called faith, driven by the driver called Almighty, we will all make it to the destiny, a place called success. That's the quintessence of a woman's life, achieved and derived by each one of us. When the successful, but this successful formula is quite infectious. It doesn't stop with one, it spreads from one person to another by just a single smile. Those who bring sunshine to others cannot keep it within ourselves. So there, our sun, our sunshine, our smile, inspire, ignite, inflict, and innovate the positivity to enlighten, empower, exemplify, and evolve our society. And the success saga continues from me to you and to everybody. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. I think we really wouldn't want to regret these last 2 minutes at all, and it's going to be remaining in the memory forever. And as you truly said, it's something like women don't need to be empowered. But having said that, we have a topic called as women empowerment. We don't need a man to empower us. Women can lead our own empowerment from us and within us.
Good. That's why the topic says that from women empowerment to women-led empowerment, we will lead ourselves.
Yeah, we are all born to fix each other's crowns.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't want to miss this session, but still we need to. Until we meet again, definitely. So wonderful catching with you all. Lovely. Thank you so much. On that note, we would like to dedicate our sincere thanks to IIU for giving us this platform and such a brilliant, what do I say, diaspora of speakers who,
yes,
each one was really competent, and each one of the word, every single word shared on this platform was so valuable, had so much value, added so much value to the society and to the country and to themselves as well, as we celebrate every single moment of your life. So as to evolve as self, community, and the terrain. Thank you. On that note, we'll take leave until we meet again for next Sunday. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.